No matter how old you are, we can all probably agree that taking a ride down a slide is an experience that can't be matched. But take slides a step further by adding skyscrapers, cliffs, or even volcanoes, and you've got yourself some pretty terrifying rides. While sliding is a pretty universally loved activity, did you know that there are some that even the most daring of enthusiasts might glance at and think twice before riding? Well, if you're one of those brave people, continue watching, because today we're going to take a look at some of the most unusual and terrifying slides in the world that will most definitely give you goosebumps. But before we get started, I've got a question for you. What would you rather take on? Riding down a slide from the top of a skyscraper, or jetting across one through shark-infested waters? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get it on! Sky Slide. The U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles was the tallest building in the famous LA skyline for most of its history, appearing in loads of movies, TV shows, and even video games. The building is home to the tallest open-air observatory in the city. Well, in an attempt to take the view from scenic to totally insane in one fell swoop, the observation deck installed a new feature in 2017, the Sky Slide. Made entirely of tempered glass, the Sky Slide hangs out over the 78th floor of the observatory, going down to the 69th. On the way down, riders get to feel like they're free-falling through mid-air, with a 270-degree view of the cityscape beneath them and to the side of them. While the ride itself is relatively short, only lasting a few seconds, the idea of spending any amount of time falling through an almost invisible tunnel 800 feet in the sky would be enough to make almost anyone a little uneasy. However, the observatory's marketing team assures us that the glass Sky Slide is strong enough to support a humpback whale. I'll just take their word on that. Slide Wheel Water Slide. As if water slides weren't extreme enough already, the Slide Wheel Water Slide in Chimelong Water Park in Guangzhou, China adds a whole new dimension to the experience. Literally! The truly unique attraction is actually made up of 3 slides that each give a totally unique experience. The slide rotates as riders slide down them at a speed of once every 20 seconds, causing riders to drop down at a speed of 40 kilometers a second forward, before suddenly dropping the way they just came, backwards. The monstrous 80-foot tall Ferris wheel waterslide hybrid opened in 2018 and has been visited by hundreds of thousands of adrenaline junkies from all around the world, looking for the incredible thrill of shooting up, down, backwards, and even upside down in specialized rafts designed to fly through the slide wheel as fast as possible. This Chinese slide definitely gives a whole new meaning to the phrase of not knowing which way is up. Shark Water Slide. While regular slides can be a ton of fun, water slides add a whole new element of excitement to the mix. And among them, the Leap of Faith water slide at the Atlantis Resort might just be the most insane. This truly terrifying slide drops you 60 feet from the top of a Mayan temple, straight down into what might be the most terrifying feature of any water slide in the world: an underwater tube in the middle of a shark-infested tank. The see-through material around you puts you right in the middle of these hungry predators. And when adding on to the adrenaline from the 60-foot straight-down drop you just underwent, there's no doubt the sight of sharks surrounding you will be more than enough to drive some people completely over the edge. Of course, you're completely safe on the other side of basically bulletproof acrylic, so it's actually quite a beautiful view. And in the many years the slide has been open, not a single person has been eaten by sharks. So maybe it's best to just sit back and enjoy the thrill before it's over, and just hope you're not the first. Royal Flush Water Slide. Waco, Texas isn't exactly a city most people think of as thrilling, or really at all. It may surprise you to learn, however, that Waco is home to one of the craziest water slides in the United States, the Royal Flush Water Slide at BSR Cable Park. Opened in 2015, this water slide has a secret that its name doesn't immediately give away. It's actually a water jump. The triple-bodied water slide has riders build up speed down its 65-foot lengths, each designed to provide different speeds based on how adventurous they're feeling, before curving upwards and launching them into the air, getting some serious airtime before landing in a 16-foot deep pool. The highest of the slides has seen some riders thrown as high as 10 feet, hanging in free fall above the water for several seconds that probably feel like a lifetime. Experienced riders use the momentum of the jump to launch into flips, twists, twists, and other cool tricks that wouldn't be possible without the gravity-defying power of the Royal Flush. For only $15 for unlimited rides all day, I might just have to pay a visit to otherwise quiet Waco, Texas. Cliffside Slide. Have you ever wanted to walk among the clouds? No? Well, I'll tell you anyways. In Dolní Morava, in Czech Republic, you can do exactly that with the colossal Skywalk. Located over 3,000 feet above sea level in the Czech mountains, this incredible attraction lets visitors scale the skies themselves, rising to an incredible 170 feet, providing a view that's unmatched by any of the surrounding peaks. But of course, the walk to the top wouldn't be complete without an awesome drop back down to the bottom. Because who wants to walk all the way back down? That's where the massive Skywalk slide comes into play. Equipped with see-through windows to give sweeping 360-degree views of the mountain range from all kinds of angles, the 330 meters long slide whips riders around its deeply banked curves, high enough to make the mountains below look like molehills. Reaching speeds as high as 35 kilometers per hour, combined with the breathtaking and slightly terrifying views, riders are sure to get a massive adrenaline spike on their way down one of the tallest slides in all of Europe. Definitely beats walking back down, am I right? Rock slide. A rock slide typically sounds like a terrible natural disaster, but in New Zealand, rock slides have a totally different meaning. So far, we've looked at incredible feats of man-made engineering on this list of unbelievable slides, but sometimes Mother Nature is way ahead of us. In Gisborne, New Zealand, that's absolutely the case. Here, water from the nearby Warrakope River has spent millions of years weathering the rocks around to create the awesome rear rock slide, a naturally cut 200-foot-long decline in the rocky area that provides one of the most extreme rides in the world. The rocks have been coated in moss that's incredibly slippery, further propelling you like an awesome natural slip and slide. Fun to ride? Yes. Crazy? Maybe just a little bit. Volcano slide. Well, while man-made slide technology has only come so far, it seems Mother Nature is just leagues ahead of us in producing the most insane slides the world has to offer. Of course, until someone has the crazy idea to, actually slide, these spots are just places. Nicaragua is home to some incredibly breathtaking, not to mention massive volcanic peaks, and while most people would be satisfied to admire from a distance, adrenaline junkies needed to take a closer look, and on the Cerro Negro volcano, they found exactly what they were looking for: a steep bit of volcanic cliffside on the side of a 750-meter elevated volcano, and thus volcano slides were born. Here, riders take specially designed boards and shoot down the volcanic rock. The fine volcanic soil provides peak sliding conditions, but riders still need to wear protective suits to keep from getting overheated or scraped up by the razor-sharp shards of volcanic glass separated from their bodies by nothing more than a wooden board. Well, I think we found it. The most extreme slide in the world. World's tallest slide at sea. So far, we've seen some of the tallest slides on land, but what about the tallest slide at sea? While the idea might seem a bit silly, after all, who's going to go out to the middle of the ocean just to go down a slide? Well, surprisingly, that's what thousands of people do every single year. The ultimate abyss slide is in fact the tallest slide at sea all year round, because it's located aboard the Harmony of the Seas cruise ship. This massive 228-ton ship is home to a laser tag field, zip line, multiple restaurants, and enough luxury rooms to host over 6,300 people. But enough about the ship. What about the slide? You can race your friends down these two slides to see who makes it to the bottom fastest, careening over the edge of the ocean down these 10-story high sea monsters. The over 100-foot tall slides shoot adventurous riders straight down into darkness before looping upward, back downward, and through a series of LED lights that flash suddenly to make you feel like you're crashing into the deep blue sea below. Now that's a cruise I'd definitely like to be on. Ice slide. Winter is usually a time to stay indoors and drink warm beverages to avoid the cold, Well, I guess people in Harbin, China didn't quite get the memo, because they turned winter into one of the coolest and most beautiful displays in the world with the Harbin Ice and Snow Festival, where gigantic blocks of ice and snow are expertly carved into some of the most amazing sculptures I've ever seen. While you could walk around in the frigid cold to appreciate the sculptures one by one, it might be a bit cooler to take it all in really fast, and the ice slides at this event make that entirely possible. Carved out of the frozen lake bed the festival takes place on, visitors can slide through the man-made ice crevices all around the massive sculptures and appreciate them in less time than it takes to get too cold. ArcelorMittal Orbit Slide. The 2012 London Olympics was an opportunity for the English city to show off to the rest of the world, and so they had Sir Anish Kapoor build the tallest sculpture in England for the event. After the festivities had passed, while the sculpture still stood, the city wanted it to serve more of a purpose, so they brought on an artist to add a slide to the sculpture. But this wouldn't just be any old slide. After all, it was on the tallest sculpture in London. So as a result, they designed a slide that twisted and turned through the intricate sculpture, with some sections being transparent to let riders see the London skyline on their way down, and other sections plunged in complete darkness. In the end, the slide was a total of 180 meters tall, with a length of 243 meters when accounting for its 12 sharp turns on the way down, with riders reaching a speed of up to 25 kilometers per hour on the way down. In the end, the ArcelorMittal Orbit Slide officially opened in 2017 and became the longest tunnel slide in the world. If you're afraid of heights, do yourself a favor and maybe give this slide a skip. Psst, hey, you still there? Well, since you made it this far, here are all the shoutouts we promised everyone that commented on our previous video. If you want to be shouted out in our next upcoming video as well as the ones prior, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below saying, "Pick me!" Once you're at it, you might as well leave a like too. So what do you think? Would you be brave enough to slide down some of these insane and unusual slides? Which ones? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.